Everyone, and welcome to HCM 300, the U.S. healthcare system. This is a class that will be an overview for some of you, for all of you, and it will be a kind of class that doesn't matter what part of the healthcare system you intend on ending up in or accessing, it will come to bear at some point, either now or in the future for you. Most students by the end of this course are really happy that they've had a little bit more depth of understanding as to how we got to where we are today in the United States. This class does focus on the U.S. healthcare system. So that being said, this class will be a little bit of history, a little bit of policy, and just a lot of good kind of social understanding. A little bit of kind of multidisciplinary and a descriptive class, not a class where you'll be doing lots of computing, but more a class where you're going to do a lot of understanding. We'll start out by talking about the U.S. versus other countries. We'll talk a little bit about how healthcare has evolved, how hospitals, got to where they are, how insurance companies are where they are, how we got to the Affordable Care Act and the people trying to appeal it, and really all the way to managed care and health policy. So it's really a fun class. I want it to be fun. I want you to be able, as you're reading the newspaper, to say, oh, okay, I know a little bit more about that. A couple tools for the course. You have your syllabus. You'll find this under course info. We spent a lot of time on the syllabus to make sure that it's spread out. The work is spread out throughout the course. You want to make sure you kind of keep up with the reading. This class is very traditional, has a midterm and a final. You can take, I don't really release those until a little bit later in the course to make sure you've done the reading, but the midterm will be out there first, and then later in the course, you can take the final when you're ready. There are recorded lectures for each chapter, and you'll want to look at those. The tests are based almost 100% on the textbook publisher, although I have reviewed the questions and I've made sure that they're covered by the course. People find these tests to be a little bit harder than they thought. I think when you read the book, it reads really like a nice magazine or a nice kind of business article, and I think sometimes people are a little surprised at the first test. All I can say is it is open book and open notes, so therefore it is a little bit harder than it might be if it weren't, but that's the best way to do it for the course. And in addition to the midterm and final, you'll have a paper. I'd like you to pre-approve the paper. I prefer not to read 25 papers about the exact same topic, so that's why I ask you early on to, and this is all in the syllabus, you look there for the dates later. I want you to get the paper approved. I usually give people some good feedback by email. That's one of the chances you have to kind of get a little bit of help and direction from me. Make sure you follow all the rules of writing papers using the APA format, 5 journal articles, and by journal, I mean real journals. Like you may need to use, you have a great resource at the Jefferson Library. They will help you even virtually to do research. All 5 of your articles cannot be websites or the USA Today. In the past, I have sometimes made an exception to that if you choose a particularly cutting edge topic, and I'll be happy to look at that with you, but unless you hear from me otherwise, I expect you to treat this as if you're trying to get an article published in a journal. Now that sounds very ominous if you haven't had other courses like that. On the other hand, this is a health policy management class, so you're not doing a randomized controlled trial or anything. You're just writing about something that interests you, maybe long-term care, maybe hospice, maybe managed care, maybe the evolution of hospitals in the United States, or even how you think things, maybe a health policy paper where you think healthcare should be going. I'm open to a lot of that, and really that's what I'm after. I want to see that you have taken a topic from this course and dug in a little bit deeper and worked to apply that understanding. There are 3 discussions. Those are towards the front of the class. These are discussions that were created by me. They've been tweaked and tailored as I've taught this course in the past. and they're really intended to translate what you're learning into actual um, applications. So I think you'll like them. Most people found them to be kind of fun. I'm looking for 1 to 2 paragraphs. If you're responding to someone else, just a sentence or two is fine as long as it's a complete thought. Just make sure you take this seriously. Don't feel like you have to write a really long paper and have citations. I'm not looking for citations in the discussion boards. What I will say is make sure you post in the actual discussion board. Do not attach Word documents to the discussion board. If you do that, I can sometimes have 30 students and I have to spend all night downloading Word documents. This is not a place to wow me with your word processing skills. Wow me with your intellectual contribution and just type it right on the discussion board. That's very important. There's a new thing we're trying this semester across the school, and those are called micro lessons. So I'll be recording probably 4 mini lessons that are like 2-minute kind of videos like this, where we really jump right into a topic and to embellish your understanding, and make sure you walk away with this. I mean, a couple of things that are really important about this course that people tell me is understanding how hospitals evolve and understanding insurance a little bit more. And so both of those are good things to, we'll probably have micro lessons on. I would ask you to log in frequently. I'm logging in frequently. I will be in, I usually post kind of around Monday, Tuesday, sort of what the week expectations are. And of course, I jump back in and chime in throughout the week. Keep track of those announcements. Nothing that I say in an announcement, in most cases, is not going to change the magnitude of an assignment. So the syllabus is always your go-to, but make sure you go. I usually provide additional information, especially when people start asking questions. I kind of have a policy. If you ask me a question about the paper and I feel like it's relevant to everyone, I usually jump right in there and make an announcement. I won't use your name, but sometimes it helps to hear. I'm sure we all have similar questions. Jefferson email is the best for me. I carry it on my phone like 24 hours a day practically, so I'm very responsive. If you have questions or an issue pops up, please let me know. Please give me reasonable notice. Obviously, people have life events, and in those cases, we'll work together. I can be flexible where necessary, but I will ask you to respect the timing of the syllabus as much as you possibly can. I will ask also that you don't copy-paste a paper from another course, even if it's a course that I'm not teaching. Usually it's very evident when people are kind of doing. I think it's better for you if you actually write a brand new paper, even if you do get special permission to use a similar topic, and I would ask that you ask me first. Then I'm going to probably tell you to try to write it as if you're writing a brand new paper. For example, this is more of a policy macro class. So if I had somebody one time who was in the EMT program and they tried to write me, they tried to use a paper that from the rescue squad world that really just did not. It was so specific. It was about response times in the ambulance, and it really had nothing to do with the course. So use your judgment. I'm pretty flexible guy. If you happen to be studying nursing home referrals, for something you're doing at work, and that worked for your long-term care class, and you also think it might have application to this course in the sense and how that fits into the greater healthcare system, I would be very interested in that. But please don't just take the same paper and copy it. It's usually very obvious. And naturally, everything will be checked against the plagiarism and everything else on the electronic. I can do all that through the Blackboard. So if you have any questions, always look to Blackboard, send me an email, and I look forward to working with all of you. I think this is going to be fun, and please try to take that approach to it. And one more thing about the paper. When you are choosing your paper topic, just walk through your syllabus topics. I even put topics like within the syllabus where it says topic, history of healthcare delivery. I mean, that could be one of the areas you look, but also look at your table of content. Any one of these chapters or exhibits, they're all things you could drill down on and write a paper about. So let me know if you have any further questions. I look forward to working with all of you and hope you have a great semester. Thanks.